I'd like to welcome all retirees, families, friends, board members, colleagues, and especially friends for Timberlane from the past. As superintendent, I am pleased, proud, and a little sad to kick off this special tribute to the Timberlane Regional School District professional class of 2009. The difference between the professional class of 2009 and the student class of 2009, aside from the obvious, is that the students complete their tenure in district in just 12 years. The 7 retirees are completing a combined 180 years of tenure with an average of almost 26 years of service each. Although 180 years of dedicated service is impressive unto itself, the remarkable thing about a profession in education is that it is the only profession where your work does not end when you retire. Your work just grows up, moves on, or sometimes comes back. They have children, some become teachers, and your lessons and your legacy live on in the adults who you help to shape and their children for generations to follow. Pat yourselves on the back for the difference you made and the difference that you will continue to make, and congratulations. Now it is my pleasure to welcome to the microphone Mrs. Elizabeth Costa, Chair of the Timberlane School Board. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Timberlane Regional School Board, I would like to welcome you to our distinguished retirees, their families, friends, and colleagues. Thank you for coming this evening to join us in honoring our esteemed retirees who have served our children in district well for many, many years, and some of them for many, many, many years. It is both an honor and a privilege to recognize you this evening. We, as a district, strive to achieve excellence in our students, teachers, staff members, and administration. Our mission is to engage all students in challenging and relevant learning opportunities, emphasizing high aspirations and personal growth. With this being said, one of the challenges that now lie ahead is to fill these shoes of the remarkable individuals with incoming educators who will also strive for this same excellence. Thank you again for joining us this evening.
Good evening. It is my privilege now to call to the podium Kathy Deotis, the principal of Atkinson Academy, who will present 2 retirees to you and share a few historical remarks and others.
Beckwith, could you come forward? In 1970, the world was filled with exciting possibilities and promise. The Concorde made its first supersonic flight. The U.S. celebrated the first ever Earth Day, and Ellen Mary Beckwith received her Bachelor of Science in Education from Bethany Nazarene College in Bethany, Oklahoma. She immediately began what would turn out to be a 38-year career in education. After teaching in Kansas City for 3 years, Ellen came to her senses and moved back to New England, accepting a position as an elementary teacher at Atkinson Academy. She eventually transferred to the Timberlane Regional Junior High School to be the reading teacher. In 1992, she followed her passion, became the media journalist at Atkinson Academy in Sandown Central, eventually coming full circle back to Atkinson Academy, where she's been the media journalist for the past 4 years. Despite a busy career, Ellen found the time to continue her own education. In 1995, she received her Master's of Education in Library Media Studies from Salem State College, and in 1996 received a second master's degree in Administration and Supervision from the University of New Hampshire. In 2006, Ellen completed the Japan Fulbright Memorial Fund Teacher Program in Japan. During her career with Timberlane, Ellen has been actively involved in a number of curriculum committees. She has also served as a member of the Council for Teacher Education, an arm of the State Board of Education. Ellen is also a local celebrity, having produced and appeared in local educational cable programs designed to promote reading by reviewing children's books for parents and hosting a read-aloud storytime show for children. In 1993, her publication, The Image of the Librarian as Depicted in Children's Literature, was featured in the Journal of the New Hampshire Educational Media Association. Ellen has worked tirelessly to create an atmosphere in the library that is relaxed and welcoming. A dedicated professional, Ellen rose beautifully to the multiple challenges of integrating the library and media programs simultaneously in 2 schools at the same time and converting them to the computerized circulation systems. Her enthusiasm and energy will be missed by all. Ellen is a world traveler, and travel is certainly on the agenda for her retirement, as is volunteering with her church. Hopefully she'll be able to carve out time to simply relax and smell the roses. Ellen, we wish you all the best in your retirement, and I personally will miss you. As a library assistant for the past 18 years, Marilyn Paradis has been a wonderful resource for the students at Atkinson Academy Library. Not only does she know every single book in the library, she never forgets the name of any of the children and what kind of books they like to read. She greets each child by name with warmth and respect, whether it's their first visit to the library or their 100th. Graduating from the University of Lowell with a Bachelor's of Science degree in education, Marilyn taught at the Haverhill Public School System for 13 years, including a year as a head teacher. With the arrival of her 2 children, she left teaching and devoted herself to them, but maintained her connection to education by becoming a substitute teacher at the Academy and doing volunteer work for the Atkinson PTA. There is no question that Marilyn is going to enjoy retirement. There will be plenty of time for her to indulge her love of theater, reading, and the Red Sox, not necessarily in that order. Her many friends here will miss her very much, and the students will miss her friendly face whenever they visit the library. Marilyn, we wish you a happy and full retirement.
Next, I would like to ask Mr. Mike Hogan, the principal of the Timberlane Regional Middle School, to the podium to introduce one retiree from the middle school.
I'd like to ask Mr. Steve Cooper to come up. Feeling comfortable, Steve? Yes. These kind of events are Steve's kind of thing, so just want you to know that. So here's the little bio on Steve. In 1970, armed with a Bachelor of Science degree from Sul Ross State University. I didn't make that up. I've never heard of it, but it does exist. Not anymore? Okay. In Texas. And a newfound passion for teaching, Steve Cooper eagerly began his career in education at Triton High School in Massachusetts. 4 years later, in 1974, Steve was hired as a phys ed teacher at Timberlane Junior High School. In 1984, he became a social studies teacher, which he taught successfully for the next 25 years. Or, as his colleagues in the social studies department like to say, when he got too old to teach phys ed, he turned to social studies. Steve continued to challenge himself academically, and in 1988, he received his Master's of Education from Notre Dame College. They no longer exist, so we have one school that nobody's heard of and one that's out of business. Okay. Anyway, warm, friendly, easygoing, and a great sense of humor, a practical joker, and a wonderful teacher. Those are some of the words one hears over and over in reference to Steve Cooper. adept at combining quality instruction with effective discipline. And Steve's idea of discipline is, hey, knock that off. I think he learned that in phys ed and just brought it right into the social studies room. However, Steve demonstrates genuine caring and respect for his students. Over the course of his 35 years with Timberlane, he's coached football, wrestling, and intramurals, as well as serving as the junior high school athletic director. In all areas, he has earned the respect of students and colleagues alike. When I met Steve, he came up to me the first day of school, my first year, 3 years ago, and he said, "Hey, you live in Londonderry." And he said, "Me too." And I said, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "You had my son." I was a teacher in Londonderry and a coach, and I happened to have his son on the football field. So I thought he was going to say, okay, he didn't give me the ball enough or something like that, but he was very nice about it, and he said, "My son said you're okay." Steve is looking forward to retirement. Unlike his summers as a young teacher, he probably will not spend it painting houses. A little golf, little family time, some substitute teaching. He's already talked to me about that. He and his wife, Linda, plan on making many trips to North Carolina to visit their children and their granddaughter, Piper. A native of Massachusetts, Steve and Linda are sure to spend plenty of time on Cape Cod, where their family experienced so many wonderful summer vacations. Steve, we wish you all the best in your retirement. Congratulations. You will be missed.
Next, I would like to ask Principal of the Timberlane Regional High School, Mr. Donald Woodworth, to come up and present 4 retirees.
Good evening. Congratulations to the 3 of you who have already been spoken about. I happen to be blessed with having the opportunity to know these people. I started at the middle school myself and knew Ellen and Steve through that. And really appreciated working with them then. And I've always been really amazed at how things come full circle. And same thing with Marilyn Paradis. People that I learned to know early on in my career have come either to teach my own kids or to work with my wife at the Accent Academy. So I feel like I'm seeing old friends anew and enjoying seeing them again. At the same time, my career, just passes in front of me, and I am so lucky to have known and worked with you, and congratulations. For the high school, first I'd like to have Noreen Burns come up. Noreen. Noreen Burns, District Service 1988 to 2009, 21 years in the Mathematics Department. Noreen Elizabeth Burns graduated from Salem State College in 1971 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in mathematics. She immediately began teaching at Georgetown High School in Georgetown, Massachusetts, eventually arriving at Timberlane High School as a mathematics teacher in 1988. And later, she served as the math department chair for 6 years. Noreen was among the first group of Timberlane teachers brought together to organize the Ceresc Lab, the Ceresc Lab School, participating in committees such as College Connection, working with college supervisors of student teachers, and the Mentoring Committee, which provided the framework for the Timberlane current mentoring program. Noreen helped to implement Teachers Helping Teachers, a teacher-based, teacher-run mentoring and peer coaching program at the high school. Noreen was selected to Who's Who Among America's Teachers not once, but twice, having been nominated by her former students. Always willing to participate in Spirit Week or faculty talent shows, Noreen was a regular performer in the faculty lip syncs and comedy sketches. And I can remember the 2 of us dressed up as chickens up on stage and acting in West Side Story before we really saw it done well this year at the high school. But Noreen has been an active member of the Atkinson Congregational Church, both as a Sunday school teacher and as a member of the Missions Committee, where she was instrumental in helping to relocate Cambodian families to New Hampshire. Despite being very busy both personally and professionally, she also found time to teach swim classes at the YMCA. I'll miss you, Noreen. You've been an outstanding classroom teacher, a great advocate for your department, and a valued friend. You've spoken from your heart, given unselfishly of your time. Congratulations in your retirement. I'd like to call Patricia Caton. Please come up. Patty Caton has been in the district from 1982 to 2009, 27 years, physical education and health teacher at the high school. Patty Caton earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Plymouth State College in 1981. In 1982, she joined the staff of Timberlane High School as a physical education teacher, the very school from which she had graduated 5 years earlier. Throughout her 27 years with the district, Patty has coached field hockey, track, and tennis. And I believe you actually had my son swing the racket for the first time, and he's now teaching with you, so isn't that something? She has also served on the liaison committee and the scholarship committee, and she's served as a class advisor. Patty has worked hard to instill in her students the same love of athletics that she has enjoyed all her life. Her student interactions demonstrate genuine warmth, caring, and respect. They respect her and they trust her, many often seeking her out individually to confide in her. There does not seem to be a sport that Patty has not participated in. As a student at Timberlane, she was a member of the track, field hockey, and basketball teams, and held records in javelin and shot put. Shot put, imagine that. As a college student, she was a member of Plymouth's lacrosse team, participating in the national championships. She has been a summer recreation director. She's taught horseback riding. She's coached volleyball, tennis, and lacrosse in area towns. And last but not least, she's been a basketball referee. Patty, to my knowledge, no student has ever beaten you in pickleball. That's a game that's played every year at Timberlane with passion. And I know that when you teamed up in doubles with Mike Sorter, you guys were unstoppable. You even beat me and Mr. Kiley in that game. And we thought we were going to lick you. You are renowned for the smile you wear on your face 24/7. Except, of course, when it comes to pickleball, when you adopt an intense look that's as intimidating as John Papelbon's look when he's on the mound. I know that you're going to enjoy retiring to hours of exercise and relaxation, often at the beach out in Hampton. Please keep in touch. We will miss you. Patty, we wish you nothing but the best in your retirement. Mr. Ronald Edmiston, will you please step forward? Ron Edmiston, district service 1994 to 2009, 15 years as a physics teacher and a lead teacher at the high school. In 1968, Ronald Edmiston graduated from the U.S. Coast Guard Academy with a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering and began a long and illustrious career with the Coast Guard. Over the course of the next 25 years, he served in many capacities. As an engineering officer on the U.S. Coast Guard cutters, Ron assisted in the rescue of many people at sea, boarded foreign vessels, fishing vessels, tracked icebergs, and rescued boats. As a marine safety officer, he inspected tankers and wooden tall ships in Maine, inspected super ferries in Washington State, inspected new construction of 1,000-foot vessels in Wisconsin, and managed the cleanup of a PCB-contaminated Superfund site in Rhode Island. Ron has always wanted to be a teacher. And he actually got his start in education designing and implementing 18 new courses as school chief of the Marine Safety School in Virginia. In 1993, he retired from the Coast Guard, and the mayor of Baltimore declared July 23, 1993, as Captain Ronald Edmiston Day. Apparently, Ron does not like downtime. Somehow, while he was building his remarkable career in the U.S. Coast Guard, he also found time to teach Sunday school, adult education courses, and lead youth group activities at various churches and Boy Scout programs. He was a foster parent, taking a leadership role as vice president of the Foster Parents Association. As a recreational league coach, he coached basketball, football, volleyball, softball, and soccer. He also managed to squeeze in the time to marry and raise 2 sons. In addition to all the above, Ron also had been furthering his own education, earning his teacher certification at Seattle Pacific College, his master's degree in counseling from Rhode Island College, his educational specialist degree from George Washington University, and another teaching certification from Loyola College. One would think that with having already led such a full life, retirement from the Coast Guard would have been a welcome relief. But one would be mistaken. After his retirement, Ron began a career as a public school teacher, and we are very grateful that his path led him to Timberlane. As his students can attest, Mr. Ed is an exemplary instructor. He is patient, enthusiastic, and respectful of all levels of ability. He has passionately encouraged learning, problem solving, and teamwork. As a member of the science faculty, he mentored the robotics team and accompanied them to the first national competition in Atlanta. Throughout his time at Timberlane, Ron, who was a standout track athlete as a high school student in Pennsylvania, served as a track coach. Ron has developed several outstanding pole vaulters. Last week, one of his female vaulters, Lindsay Patterson, became Timberlane's first female state pole vault champion, setting the state record in the process. We would like to wish Ron well in his retirement, but true to form, he just can't retire all the way. He will be working next year at Timberlane High School in a part-time capacity as a science teacher. Perhaps in another 15 years he'll come back and he'll embrace full-time retirement as well as he has embraced teaching. Congratulations, Ron. Finally, from the high school, would Marilyn Prell please come forward? Marilyn Prell, parish and her grandchild, Brady. District service, 1980 to 2009, 29 years in the English department at Timberlane Regional High School. In 1965, Marilyn Prell graduated from Western Michigan University with a Bachelor of Arts in English and began teaching in Detroit. After 5 years in Michigan, she moved to Massachusetts. She received her Master of Education in Administration and Supervision in 1974 from Lowell State College. In 1980, Marilyn crossed the border into New Hampshire and has taught English at Timberlane High School ever since that date. During her 29 years at Timberlane, Marilyn has been a valuable member of the English department team. Over the years, she has served on many committees and projects such as the District Evaluation Committee, the Scholarship Committee, the Liaison Committee, the Peace Day Committee, and Millie's Meals, just to name a few. Marilyn has been steadfast in her efforts to promote student achievement. Marilyn urged students to publish their creative writing in various periodicals and student publications, arranging for students to write newspaper articles for the Lawrence Eagle Tribune. She had her students contribute each year to the school's literary magazine. After the world-altering events of September 11th, Marilyn assisted the Eagle Tribune on an article about the aftermath, arranging and setting up interviews between her students' parents and the Tribune writer. Marilyn has sought to provide Timberlane students with a sense of local history by displaying old newspaper articles in yearbooks. Near Memorial Day, I walked into her class to find her sharing the poetry of Demetrius Gavriel, a Timberlane graduate who died in Iraq, noting that there are heroes among us destined for greatness. Marilyn has always had her pulse on the Timberlane district and always celebrated it. Marilyn has always been attentive to the needs of others. In the classroom, this surfaced in her correspondence with all of her students through journal writing. She has provided 3 decades of Timberlane students with academic and emotional support by creating caring student-teacher relationships. Similarly to the Timberlane staff, Marilyn has provided support through the Sunshine Fund. I'll always recall how surprised and appreciative my wife and I were when Marilyn delivered a fruit basket to my house in Kingston on behalf of the staff in the summer of 1982 after the birth of our first son. Marilyn has gifted countless others with similar gestures of goodwill over the years. Perhaps most of all, we will miss her thematic snacks at staff meetings and her elaborate preparations for the end-of-year party every year. What does retirement hold for Marilyn? To say that she's eagerly looking forward to babysitting her new grandson and spending more time at home is an understatement. I think she's looking forward to relaxing by her pool with her husband George, staying close with her son Quinn and Parrish, her daughter, and being active in the Atkinson community. Marilyn, congratulations on your retirement.
Just when you think it's all over, you can bolt and get out of here. Today, at the end of the day, Mr. Woodworth and I were sort of walking down the hallway together, heading to the main office, and I thought, what is this? I have like a yellow daisy print dress on, and he's got a yellow shirt and tie and khaki pants. I thought, oh my God, we're starting to look like each other. I said, okay. He said, okay, I'm going home. I'll grab a jacket. I said, okay, I'm going to go home and change clothes too. So, yeah, I think it's Timberlane family when you really do start to look like each other, but love each other too. And yes, thank you so much.
I have about 100, but I'm going to have to choose my favorite one, the day that Steve Cooper saved my life. You laugh. We were painting. It was on Shasta Drive. I'm about 40 feet above a concrete patio, and I'm fully extended. I'm reaching back on the eave at the top of a ladder that's about 40 feet and fully extended. It lands at around 35. So I'm reaching back, and my other hand has a brush, and I'm painting, and Steve is moving his ladder. He loses the ladder, it smashes into mine. I'm dangling, drop my paintbrush. I'm trying to keep my feet on the ladder, and shout to Steve at the same time, help. So he did. He jettisoned his ladder and steadied mine, and I froze there for some time, managing to crawl back on the ladder to safety, and I owe my life to Steve. Thank you.
Marilyn, the one thing I want to know is how you overcame your shyness to face those kids every day. In a moment, I'm going to close this evening's ceremony part, but it doesn't close the evening. We have the room for longer, and we can enjoy each other's company for much longer. In closing, we wish you a balance of rest, relaxation, fun, and adventure. And don't forget us, don't be strangers, come back and visit with us. But when you do come back and visit with us, and we politely ask you about the wonders of retirement, we don't really mean it. We don't want to hear what you have to say. And Coach, I know it's beautiful in Florida during the winter, but here, not so much. Thank you. Enjoy your retirement. Thank you all for joining us this evening, and I hope everybody had a pleasant evening. Thank you.